What is up, you guys? Welcome back. If you're new, welcome. I have a hair in my mouth. If you're new, welcome. My name is Devin. I hope you will consider sticking around and subscribing. And if you're not new, as always, welcome back. You know I love you. So for today's video, we are going to be doing a 3 looks 1 palette video with the Kathleen Lights and Colourpop So Jaded palette. I'm sure you guys have seen this at this point, but just in case you haven't, this is what the palette looks like. It's very colorful. It is beautiful. I absolutely love it. And I've actually had this for a few months now, and I've been using it on my own, but I haven't actually created a video with it. I had filmed a 2 looks 1 palette video like months ago when this first came out, and I just didn't like the looks that I did really, and I didn't like the video, and I ended up never posting it. So I'm just now getting around to filming a 3 looks 1 palette with this video. So as you guys can see, this palette is extremely versatile, and for that reason I really tried to do 3 different looks. Like, I wanted to try to keep the looks really different and use as many colors as I possibly could. Personally, I feel like I could do at least one more 3 looks 1 palette video with this palette, just because there's so many colors, there's so many different things you can do with it. Whoops. I'm a mess today. I'm a mess every day, but especially today. So without further ado, I don't want to ramble on too much because we've got a lot of makeup to do in this video. So if you're interested in seeing the 3 looks that I created with the So Jaded palette, let's get right into the video. So to start off, for the first look, I'm going to take this shade right here, which is called Rose Quartz, and that is going to be our transition. So I'm taking a nice big fluffy eyeshadow brush. This one's from Morphe. Any brush will do, and I'm just working that right into the crease. And I did have to dip into this color maybe like 2 or 3 times to build it up to the intensity that I wanted, but you can use your own judgment for that. Just build it up until you're satisfied with the color that you have on your eyelid. Next, I'm taking the shade Carnelian, which is this beautiful burnt orange color, and I'm taking this on a Morphe M433, so just a slightly less fluffy, more tapered blending brush for the crease to keep that color a little bit more concentrated, and we're just using that to work through the crease and build up the intensity of that color. And then it looks like I did go back over with that first blending brush as well. Next, I'm taking the shade Moonstone, and that is going to go all over our lid. So I just took that on my finger and started tapping it on. And again, I did have to kind of dip in, tap it on, dip back in, tap back on to build it up to the intensity that I wanted, but I didn't use a glitter glue or wet, like a setting spray to wet the shadow or anything, and it looked pretty nice. And then once I had the intensity that I wanted, I did go back in with a flat brush just to kind of pack everything on and give it a little bit more of a precise shape, especially up in the crease there. Next, I'm taking the shade Diamond, which is a beautiful, I think this is actually a Super Shock shadow, and it's just got a little bit more sparkle to it, so I'm going over top with that just to give the look a little bit more pizzazz, as I like to say. Next, I'm taking the shade Jasper, and we're going to use this color to deepen things up and add some drama. So I'm actually just taking this on a smudger brush, so any smudger brush you have. This one is from It Cosmetics, and I am just working that in the outer corner and trying to start close down to my lash line and then slowly work it up. And I'm kind of coming at it from an angle and just trying to do it slowly and build up the color, dip back in, build up, and then once I had that where I wanted with the smudger brush, I went back in with that M443 again and continued to blend it up and out. And then here I did go in really quick with that first fluffy brush that we were using just to continue blending out so there's no hard edges. And then here I just really quickly took a makeup wipe and cleaned up everything underneath my eyes, and then I did hop off camera to do my face makeup right after this. So now moving on to the lower lash line, I'm taking that shade Jasper again, and again taking it on that smudging brush, and I'm just going to start working that along the lower lash line. I also apparently didn't film it, but I did apply some brown eyeliner in my waterline as well, just to make sure there's no negative space there between the lash line and my eyes. Next, to smoke out the lower lash line, I'm going back in with that shade Carnelian, and I'm using it on just a small blending brush. This one's from BH, one of the sets that I got from BH, and I absolutely love it for this. So you can make this step as dramatic or as simple as you want it. But again, just make sure you're taking the time to really blend that out so there's no harsh lines. And just popping on some lashes here. These are the House of Lashes Iconic Lights. For lips, we're going to start with the KKW Beauty Lip Liner. This is in the shade Nude 1.5. I absolutely love this. Shauna got this for me for Christmas, and I use it all the time. I absolutely love this formula. I love the color. I honestly need to pick up a few more of these lip liners in different colors because I think this might be my favorite formula that I've ever tried so far. I think I like this better than Colourpop, honestly. Then for lipstick, this is a KKW cream lipstick, and this is in the shade Nude 2. And then to top it off and make this look extra glam, I'm taking this Dose of Colors lip gloss. This is in the shade Jazzy. This is another formula that I absolutely love, the Dose of Colors lip gloss formula, and I just think this color is so gorgeous. It's got lots of little sparkles in there, but it's still nice and creamy, and I think it's the icing on the cake for this look. All right, and here we are with look number 1. Moving on to look number 2, I'm taking the shade Royal Jewels, and that is going to be our crease color for this look. So again, a nice fluffy blending brush, and work it into the crease, build it up to the intensity that you want it. Next, I'm going to take the shade Citrine, and I'm going to take that on just a different clean blending brush, and I'm going to work that right over top of Royal Jewels. I just wanted to build up some vibrancy with this look, and I thought that this yellow would pair well with the greens that we're about to use in a second. Next, I'm going to use the color Jade, and I'm taking this on a smaller blending brush. I believe this is my Morphe E17. And I'm working this into the outer third of my eyelid as I normally do, and I'm trying to keep this again on a little bit of a diagonal so it's a little bit easier to blend in with the other shades. And again, just dipping back into the color as many times as I need to build up the intensity that I want, and then once I've got it packed on, I'm using the tip of that brush to blend it softly up into the crease. And then I did go ahead and spend some time blending here. So I took that first brush that we used, again, to just kind of blend out and diffuse the edges. And then I think I did kind of go back and forth with the E17 that had that green on it. And I just went back and forth until I was satisfied with the blend. Next, I'm going to take the shade Peridot, which is this beautiful green shimmer. It's actually the star of the show. It was the inspiration for this entire look. I really wanted to use this shimmer, and I kind of came up with this whole look around it. So I'm just applying it with my finger, building it up until I like the intensity. And again, I did not wet this or use a glitter glue. And you can see here, I'm just kind of taking my time to check it out and make sure it looks the way that I want it to, make sure everything's blended and all that jazz. Next, I'm taking the shade Tiger Eye, and I'm just going to take that on a small little eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to use it to blend it together with Jade on the outer corner, to blend Peridot and Jade together. Again, just making sure everything looks seamless, and I took a little bit with my finger as well. And then I just went back in with a little bit of Jade, again on my Morphe E17, and I'm just blending away. Next, I'm taking the shade Stoned, and I'm taking that just on a small little detail brush. Again, I think this one is from Morphe as well. And I'm just working that kind of along the lower lash line in the outer half of my eyelid. I was going for building up some definition here, but the color actually didn't turn out to be as dark as I was expecting. So you can see I really took my time to build it up. And then I also took a larger smudging brush to kind of continue to blend that up and build it up to what I wanted it to be. Next, I'm moving down to the lower lash line, and I did pop off of camera and do the rest of my face makeup. So that is done, and I'm taking the shade Jade on. This is just one of the brushes from the Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. I have a bunch of them because I have a bunch of Anastasia palettes, but again, just any brush that will help you with this step. And I'm just building it up and working it back and forth until it is the level that I want it to be at. And then I did take a fluffier blending brush after I packed it on just to start smoking it out. Next, I'm just going to throw some green eyeliner in the waterline. This one is from e.l.f. and I will link all of the extra products, like besides the palette, that I'm using in this video down below so you guys can see what I'm using. And to be honest, this eyeliner was just not my favorite. Next, I'm going to take the shade Sunstone, and this is going to go right in the inner corner here. And I just thought that since this was an orangey toned shade, it would help tie in the colors that we had in the crease earlier on in the look to just tie everything together. So just, you know, a little fun pop of color that wasn't green for this look. And then to brighten things up a little bit more, I took the shade Pearl and I popped that right on top of Sunstone in the inner corner just to mix them together so you could still see the orange, but also just have it be a little bit brighter. And then I also did take that shade Pearl up under the brow for the brow bone highlight as well. Moving on to lips, I'm first going to take this Dose of Colors lip liner. This is in the shade Dime. This is another fantastic lip liner formula. I really, really like this color, so I'm just lining around with that. For lipstick, I'm going to take this guy right here. This is the shade Ariel from the Colourpop and Disney Designer collection, the first Princess collection that they did, and I think this is just such a beautiful warmer toned nude, so it pairs really well with the earthy tones that we have on the eyes for this look. And that, my friends, is look number 2 with the So Jaded palette. All right, you guys, let's move on to the third and final look here. So this is going to be a nice, deep, dramatic blue smoky eye. So I am just starting out with a black eyeliner. This one is from Morphe, and truth be told, I honestly don't really like this formula. I have this in brown and black, but it's the only black eyeliner that I have right now, honestly, so I'm just using what I have. But I'm just focusing this kind of on the lower third, lower half of my eyelid. And then I did go in with a smudger brush just to blend everything out. This does not have to be neat. In my opinion, honestly, the messier the better. We just want to make sure that we're starting with a really dark base right there along the lash line so that as we go up, we can fade it to be lighter. And then you can see here, I just went in one more time along the lash line to make sure there's no negative space popping out. So jumping back over to the palette now, I'm taking this gorgeous deep navy shade, which is called Sapphire, and I'm just going to start packing that all over my lid. So starting at the base, right over top where we put that black, and then working it up towards the crease. And I'm really taking my time here to both build up the color and build up the shape. I want to keep the shape of this look fairly rounded. I don't want to blend the corners out too much like we did in the first 2 looks. So I'm just taking my time here to pack it on until I am satisfied with the color. You know the drill. Next, I'm going to take the shade Turquoise, and we are going to start blending up into the crease. So I'm taking this on my same favorite little blending brush from BH. I believe this is from their Rose Quartz brush collection. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but again, I will link it down below. But I'm just using this brush to kind of fade the smoky eye up into the crease, and for me, since I have deep set eyes, up onto the brow bone a bit. So just keep working this back and forth. This look is seriously all about blending. I'm always all about blending, but this smoky eye in particular, we're all about it. Now I'm going back in with Sapphire again, and I'm using the same brush that I was just using to pack it on. This brush actually is also from the BH Cosmetics Rose Quartz collection. So look, with this type of look, you have to be willing to kind of go back and forth, and as you blend, some things might fade, so you have to build them back up. So that's what I'm doing with Sapphire here on the lid, just to make sure we get that really intense blue color. And then you might have guessed it, we're going back in with that small blending brush, we're taking turquoise, and we are just blending that crease up and out. You want there to be less of a harsh line between sapphire and turquoise, and you really want them to kind of fade into each other. So that's what we're working to achieve here by going back and forth a few times. Next, I'm taking this beautiful shade right here called Onyx, and this is probably one of my favorite steps in this look. So I just took that shade on my finger and I started packing it on right on top of Sapphire all over the lid. This just adds such a beautiful sparkle and dimension to this smoky eye. I absolutely adore it. I would say that this step is the star of the show. And then again, I'm going to go back in with Sapphire, this time on that small brush. So just making sure we still have the depth of that darker color, and then back in with turquoise. So I didn't bother wiping my brush off in between Sapphire and turquoise for this because, again, I just want the colors to blend together. So just keep working this again until you are satisfied with the shape, with the blend, with the color, with the fading, all of that. Just go by your own judgment. And then once I was finished with that, I went ahead and packed on a little bit more of Onyx with my finger to make sure that we didn't get rid of any of that as well while we were blending. Next, I'm taking the shade My Precious, and I'm going to use that on a clean blending brush. This one is also from BH, a different set. I'll link it below. And I'm just using that to make sure that we are blended all the way up to the brow bone and there's no harsh lines with the blue. And now we're done pretty much with the upper eyelid. So I went ahead and took a makeup wipe to clean up underneath my eyelid. And I did pop off of camera after this to do my face makeup. Next, I went ahead and lined my waterline with the same black eyeliner we were using earlier, and then I took the shade Sapphire on a smudger brush this time, and I started lining my lower lash line with that. So since this is the darker shade, I want to keep this as close to the lash line as possible, almost like a second eyeliner. And then to smoke out the lower lash line even further, I'm going in with that tiny blending brush. Again, I'm taking the shade Turquoise and I am just blending that away on the lower lash line. So don't be afraid to get dramatic with this. I definitely took my time to really smoke it out and bring it down below the lower lash line. But again, obviously it's personal preference, so just blend this to your heart's desire. For our inner corner, we're going to take this shade right here, which is called Aquamarine, and I'm taking that on just a tiny little eyeshadow brush and popping that on my inner corner. And I just love the effect that this gives for this look. It brightens everything up and just adds to the drama that we already have on the eyes. So I really, really like this. And then to finish everything off, I'm taking this lovely shaded Diamond again, and I'm just popping that right over where we put Aquamarine in the inner corner. And then I also did just go ahead and dip my finger in and use that as my brow bone highlight as well. For lashes, I popped on these guys right here. These are House of Lashes Juliet. And then for lip liner, I'm taking one of my favorites. This is the NYX lip liner in the shade Nude Beige, and we're just lining all around the outside of our lips with this. Next, I'm taking this lip gloss right here. This is the Dose of Colors in the shade Barely There. This was from the collab with them and iluvsarahii. This was over a year ago, maybe 2 summers ago at this point. But I love how just like stark nude this shade is. So I went in with that one first. And then I kind of decided that it was just a little too nude and it needed a little something, so I took this Dose of Colors lip gloss. This is in the shade Don't Be Shy, and I put a little bit of that to just bring a little bit more life back to my lips. And there we have it. This is the third and final look for this 3 Looks 1 palette with the So Jaded palette. So I really think that this is my absolute favorite look. I just love how smoky and dramatic it is. I haven't done eyeshadow like this in a while, so I was really happy with the way this look came out. All right, you guys, so this is the third and final look for this video, which means it is also the end of this video.
I have to take a deep breath because this one was definitely a doozy for me to film. I had to film each look on 3 separate occasions, and it just took me a while to figure out what looks I wanted to do, and I had a couple practice runs where I didn't like the look that I did and I had to refilm it, so I'm happy with these 3 and I am happy to finally be done filming this video. But that being said, it was really fun and I do want to do more videos like this. It definitely is just a little bit of a heavier lift on my end to create these. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed watching these looks. I hope that maybe there are some of you out there that are recreating these looks as well. So that is going to be it for this video. If you did like it, please give me a thumbs up down below and also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. I would love to have you here. Also leave me a comment down below if you guys want to see more 3 looks or 2 looks, 1 palette videos. I don't really think I could do more than 3. I don't know if I can handle more than 3, but if you guys wanted to see more multiple looks, 1 palette videos, please let me know in the comments below. I plan on doing more of them anyway, but it's still helpful to know if you guys like them or not. And I think with that, that's gonna do it for this video, and I will catch you guys in my next one. Mwah. Love you. Bye.